Will Putin lose the Ukraine war? Top British general says the Russian military is a mess. More than a week after Vladimir Putin's special military operation, Russia is still fighting for key cities such as Kherson and Kyiv. Even the cities they occupied, such as Mariupol, blatantly refused to submit to Russian rule. This situation has led many to predict that this is a war that Russia will not win. The most recent claim was made by the British Chief of Defence Staff, Admiral Tony Radakin. In a new interview, General Radakin provides an analysis of the current situation in Russia and says Russia seems certain to lose. There's plenty of evidence on the ground for that. We've seen many stories of brave Ukrainians fighting Russia, like Kherson's tank man. Then there's also the heavy losses Russia has suffered, with one pilot dubbed the Ghost of Kyiv reportedly shooting down 6 Russian jets. Finally, there is the impact of international sanctions, which also hit the Kremlin and the oligarchs. 3 factors were also mentioned by General Radakin in his interview with the BBC as he spoke about the current situation in Ukraine. He also joined Western leaders in rejecting a no-fly zone over Ukraine, a move repeatedly called for by Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky. In his extensive interview, General Radakin touched upon several factors in the war in Ukraine. Regarding Russia's chances, he said, "I think we've seen the Russian aggression not going well." He noted that we were also seeing remarkable resistance by Ukraine, and we're seeing the unity of the whole globe coming together as key factors to affect Putin's chances. Most importantly, however, General Radakin noted that it was the Russian troops that were letting their president down. You've also seen basic failures in terms of maintenance and their kit failing. Russia hasn't operated at this scale since the Second World War, and it is incredibly complex and difficult, he said. He noted the troops were in a mess, and pointed to the example of the massive column now stopped outside Kyiv as a case in point. Russia is suffering. Russia is an isolated power. It is less powerful than it was 10 days ago. He said Russia had lost more troops in a week than Britain lost in 20 years in Afghanistan, adding point out that low morale forced many to abandon their posts and equipment. However, he also offered a more bleak outlook. We are likely to see Russia ratcheting up the violence. We're going to see more indiscriminate shelling. We're going to see more ridiculous violence, he told the BBC. It appears Putin is getting increasingly frustrated with the lack of progress, and consequently may allow more war crimes to take place. There's already widespread footage of attacks on civilians and civilian infrastructure, which many have said constitutes a war crime. In fact, Russia is believed to have violated the ceasefire it had implemented to achieve humanitarian aid and civilian evacuations from Mariupol. The requirement to establish a no-fly zone in Kyiv, General Radakin said, would be tactically ineffective and might lead to miscalculation or escalation. He also urged British military personnel not to join Ukraine's Foreign Legion, saying it was unlawful and unhelpful. But it's his remarks about the state of Russia's military that are likely to bring the most relief. If things continue to progress in the light, it looks like Russia will lose the war, but that raises another big question: will Putin resort to nuclear weapons? We will also be incredibly confident in our ability to face down President Putin, General Radakin said, while playing down Putin's nuclear threat.